a substance so powerful that a single hit releases 17 times more dopamine than an orgasm. It doesn't just make you high, it rewires your survival instincts. For decades, Europe thought it was immune to the meth epidemic tearing through the US and Asia. We were wrong. Today, the shadow is moving west, and it's being fueled by an alliance no one saw coming. Mexican cartels, European chemists, and a history that dates back to the Third Reich. The re-origin story. To understand why this is happening, we have to go back to 1938. Long before it was a street drug, it was a miracle pill called Pervitin. It wasn't hidden in back alleys. It was sold in chocolate boxes to stressed housewives and fed to Nazi soldiers to fuel the Blitzkrieg. But here's what the history books often skip. When the war ended, the chemistry didn't vanish. The blueprint stayed. While the UN eventually banned it in the 70s, the know-how remained embedded in the borderlands of Czechia and Saxony. This isn't just a new drug trend, it's a ghost from the past that never truly left the European soil. The case studies. Dominic and Ashley. Meet Dominic. At 14, while most kids were playing video games, he was offered a choice by a dealer who'd run out of weed. Take your money back or try this. That this was crystal. Within a year, snorting it wasn't enough. The pain in his nose became a barrier to the high, leading him to the needle.
The moment it hit my veins, I felt like I could move mountains. I wasn't alone anymore. For the first time, I felt included.
Then there's Ashley. Her story shatters the stereotype that this only happens to troubled kids. She was 20, struggling with the financial weight of being a young mother. Meth wasn't a party for her. It was a tool. It kept her awake to work. It numbed the stress of losing custody of her daughter, and eventually it became her only reality.
I didn't care about anything. I was using a gram a day, just staring into nothing, unable to even form words.
The global triad. Why now? So why is Europe seeing a massive spike now? Because the business model changed. Historically, meth was cooked in small local labs in Eastern Europe, but recently a terrifying synergy has emerged. The precursors. Chemicals are smuggled in from China. The expertise. Mexican cartels, the masters of industrial-scale production, have been caught setting up super labs in the Netherlands and Belgium. The logistics. They're using the same sophisticated shipping routes used for cocaine to flood the European market. In cities like Dresden and Leipzig, you can get a fix in less than 5 minutes. It's cheaper than a decent meal, and in some regions, it's plateauing at a perpetual high that local authorities simply can't bring down. The untouchable system. But here's the most controversial part of the shadow. The infrastructure that protects it. Dominic claims that even prison didn't stop the cycle. In fact, he suggests that drugs were more accessible inside the walls than outside.
There were officers and inmates smuggling it in. It was the norm. We even heard of authorities turning a blind eye or giving us heads up on raids.
While these claims are difficult to independently verify, they point to a deeper truth. When a drug becomes this entrenched, it doesn't just infect the users, it creates a shadow economy that tempts the very people meant to stop it. The biology of the crash. Why is it so hard to quit? Dr. Stefan Moik, a leading addiction researcher, explains it through the dopamine debt. When you flood the brain with 17 times the normal pleasure response, your receptors don't just reset, they shut down. When the drug wears off, the crash isn't just being tired. It's a total loss of color. It's suicidal ideation. It's a physical state where the only thing that feels normal is the very thing killing you. This is why beating a meth addiction isn't just about willpower. It's about a long, painful, biological reconstruction of the human brain. Turning point. Recovery is rare, but it is possible. For Ashley, it took a life-altering realization. She was pregnant. That biological shift gave her a reason to fight through the gray world of withdrawal. For Dominic, it was reaching the literal end of his rope, surviving overdoses, and realizing that his next hit would likely be his last. They both made it out, but their stories serve as a warning. Europe's meth problem isn't over there in the East anymore. It's in our schools, our workplaces, and our cities. Conclusion. We like to think of drug epidemics as something that happens to other people. But as we've seen, from 1940s soldiers to modern-day students, the chemical shadow doesn't discriminate. The question is, are we ready to face the scale of what's coming? Or will we keep pretending the shadow isn't growing? If you or someone you know is struggling, check the resources in the description. There is a way back to a world full of color.